Hey all, TonyBing here, hello and welcome back to the channel. Now recently in game you should have received the mail that you can see on screen at the moment. It's all about the Fear the Darkness mode that is now available. You do have to have tier 13 gear, so for that reason, as far as I'm aware, there's only 2 players that have actually managed to access it. Now as you can see from this mail as well, the first person that actually manages to beat it, they will be able to reward the entire community with 100 character shards of that individual's choosing. It doesn't say there's any restrictions, so it looks like it could be premium characters, it could even be the likes of Ultimus. Now on the back of this, I've seen a lot of conversation, I've seen a lot of messages on the likes of Twitter and Facebook in regards to the character that the person who wins this should actually choose for the entire community. A lot of the suggestions have been absolutely terrible. I'm sorry to say, characters that are easily farmable or characters that most of the community should have already maxed out or have them at a pretty decent star rating already. So on the back of this, what I've actually done is I've went onto msf.gg to get an entire screenshot of the roster. We have a whopping 88 characters that are available if we include Carnage, who is coming pretty soon as well. Now what I'll be doing in the video then is I'll actually work my way through it and I'll start to cross off characters that it simply wouldn't be worth unlocking. So we'll take out story characters because they are farmable, we'll then look at legendary events. There's no point adding shards onto a legendary event character because you will eventually unlock them and get all the shards via the event, and then look at the stores, and there's various other methods we'll use to actually whittle down and see who would be the best character or the best group of characters to actually unlock for everyone. So let's bring up the roster first. So here we have the entire roster in all its glory, so that's 88 characters in total that are shown there, and again as mentioned, Carnage is already there because he's due soon and we know what his kit's like because he is available in game as a NPC. Now first off, what we'll do is we'll move characters via story mode, and I'll actually remove the characters that are farmable via the hero story mode first, so let's check them out. We have a total of 17 characters removed straight away here that are available via the hero story mode. It's a very easy campaign to finish, and although there's some nice characters likes of Cap and Punisher, you really shouldn't have any trouble farming these particular characters, so we'll take them out. Next up we'll take out the characters that are available via the villain story mode. We have a further 11 characters we're in removing here due to the villain story mode and them being farmable via that. So the next campaign we'll look at will be the Nexus campaign. We have a further 7 characters we remove here. The only one that's really that good would be Iron Fist, but he's available on the first chapter of Nexus, so you really shouldn't have any trouble farming that at all. Nexus is the campaign when you can gun with any characters, so it really is nice and easy compared to some of the later ones. And on the subject of the later ones, let's see the characters that you can actually farm via the Cosmic story mode. We have 4 characters that are removed here because they are farmable. Now one of them is Black Panther. He's an absolute fantastic character that will only get better in time as the Wakandan tag actually expands with the likes of Koye and Killmonger coming to the game, and he's a character that's locked behind an exceptionally difficult node, so I would recommend that whoever wins this, hopefully they don't pick a character that's farmable via story mode, but if they were to pick Black Panther, it wouldn't be a complete disaster, but for the purpose of trying to be as efficient as possible, I would still rule him out for now. The Mystic campaign then has some of the best characters in the game available behind it. Now 2 characters that are in a similar boat to Black Panther, and I would recommend against them actually being the ones that are chosen, but they wouldn't be a bad choice, would be Doctor Strange and also Vision. Now there is a bit of a disclaimer with Vision in that there's potentially a better way to actually unlock him, and using 100 shards on Vision, whilst it would unlock him at 3 star, it would be a little bit short-sighted, and I'll explain that later on in the video. But for now, what we'll do is we'll check out the legendary characters that we would be removing. We have 5 characters in total here we remove, then I'm also including Ultron, who's available via the Fear the Darkness mode when you actually beat it. The reason being that with your legendary characters in Ultron is that you will be guaranteed to get the shards to actually level them up when you play through their campaigns, and with the legendary characters specifically, let's say you were at tier 4 and then you chose to get the additional 100 shards, that wouldn't be enough to take you up to the point where you would unlock the character at 5 stars, so this would be a massive waste. They may be great characters, it may be enticing to get shards from Nick Fury or Magneto, but it really would be a massive waste to get 100 shards for any of these characters. The next group of characters we removed here are all farmable via one of the stores in the game. This is specifically the Blitz store. There's quite a lot of characters and you get Blitz currency absolutely thrown at you. At the moment I'm in excess of 100,000 and everyone is 7 stars, so you definitely don't want to use the shards here at all. Now let's check out the arena store. We don't have a great deal of characters available in the arena store, it's only 8 in total. We did have Deadpool that was actually added today, so that's really nice. Otherwise he would be a potential candidate for the 100 shards because there was no way to really farm him outside the raids that have long since finished for him. So that's the arena store characters we're removing. So next up it's the raid characters. The raid store does have some pretty nice characters, specifically Rocket Raccoon and potentially Ronan in future, who is due a buff, but again the fact you can actually farm them via the raid means it just simply wouldn't be worthwhile having the shards allocated to a character you can get this way. So let's check out the next batch of characters. The next two I would remove here are ones that you gain passively almost, so it's Wolverine and Hulk. You get their shards either through achievements or doing the dailies. Now it's not actually possible to max out Hulk, I don't believe, at 7 star no matter how big a whale you are, because the achievements start to dry out a little bit. So I'm really hoping that the person who wins this doesn't try and go for 100 Hulk shards in order to potentially max them out and have their whole roster at 7 star. That would be really disappointing if that does happen, but I think it is a potential option that is on the table there. This next group of characters removed here are ones that have been available via recent events. So you got likes of Juggernaut, you got Venom, you got Miles Morales. The majority of players in the game will actually have them unlocked at around about 3 or 4 star, so the 100 shards might not even potentially take them up another star rating there. Now I have dropped in Thanos here, and a bit like Black Panther, there's a bit of a disclaimer with him, in that he is a character that I think the majority of players will have unlocked, but he's a really good character. It's been quite some time since his event was actually on, so he's another one like Black Panther that if he was to be chosen, I wouldn't say it would be that bad for players, but at least for players that don't have him at 7 star. I've got him at 7 star myself. So let's see who we've got next here. We've chosen to remove Nobu here because out of the remaining characters he is, I would say without a doubt, the weakest one there. So with that, we've actually only got 5 characters remaining now. Next up for the chopping block, we would have Ultimus. Now this is a difficult one because he is due a rework and he's supposed to be exceptionally good, along the likes of Ultron good, and if you've looked at Ultron's kit you know that really is pretty amazing. The reason I would drop him is that in time everyone eventually will be able to max out Ultimus. He's not locked behind anything. He's a bit like the likes of Hulk or Wolverine in that you passively unlock him. Yes, it is exceptionally low, but you will still be able to passively unlock him. You've also got the fact that he unlocks at 180 shards, so for the vast majority of the player base who maybe haven't started maxing out their characters and getting shards for them yet, they're still going to be way short of actually unlocking them there, so that's the reason I would drop him. Final character to remove here before we get to the top 3 would be Green Goblin. Now he is an absolutely great character in the Spider-Verse team, but the Spider-Verse team is one that doesn't really have sustain or anything like that, so you won't be using them in raids, you only really be using them in the arena mode. So for that reason I would say that he would have to be dropped, and that leaves us with our final 3 here, so let's highlight them. The final 3 we have here then are Black Widow, Carnage and Loki. Now the common theme with these characters is that they're all locked behind premium orbs. There's not been any campaigns or anything like that. I think at most Loki has had 1 or 2 blitzes, and Black Widow's potentially maybe even only had 1 blitz. Carnage is definitely coming via premium orb, we've had that confirmed already. So with these 3 characters, how would I actually rate them? Which would be the most important one? Now I would say probably in 3rd spot we have Loki. Now the reason he's in 3rd spot and he's beaten by Black Widow and Carnage is, if you look at the 2 characters, their kit is more universal, whereas Loki's kit is more about buffing Mystic controllers, so that pulls him down a little bit. However, the reason he's in 3rd place here is, if you think back when we talked about Vision and his exceptionally hard node to beat, Loki's actually a key character for beating that. So if you were to get 100 shards for Loki, that in turn would allow you to unlock Vision as well via the node that you're then going to be able to beat. Now not only will you have unlocked Vision, you'll be able to farm vision, and that's why it's so much more important than getting 100 vision shards and being stuck with him. Get the 100 Loki shards and then unlock vision and be able to farm him up as well. So with that, that leaves us with our final two characters. So it's between Black Widow and Carnage. It is exceptionally tight. Either of these could be great for the vast majority of the player base. I would say that for me that Carnage just pips it, the reason being that beta players would actually have quite a lot of shards for Black Widow already, potentially because she was farmable way back in beta, that was last year. You've also got the fact that if you look at both of their kits, that Carnage is the more universal kit, Black Widow's more about buffing the Avengers and also shield characters with a lower chance to speed up other characters, whereas if we look at Carnage's kit, which we'll actually bring up right now, you can see that it's absolutely incredible, the damage numbers he does, and you've also got the fact that there's no real synergies there that he needs. He doesn't have to be paired up with any particular group of characters in order to unlock him. So that would be my number one choice. Now ultimately it will be down to the person that actually manages to get all the way through the Fear the Darkness mode, so I'm hoping they don't troll us and go for the likes of Scientist Supreme. Preferably I would like to see if they maybe put out a poll, but again it is down to them. They've put in the effort, they can choose, but if they do put out a poll, make sure to actually let anyone know that's unsure to check out this video so they can see the rationale as to why they should pick Carnage, because he's my number one player here. So let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree who you would pick and the reasoning for it, and I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you all again soon.